Hi everybody, my name is Heath and I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on Maptool and the new 4E framework that you can use with it. So to begin, what I'm going to do is start a server so you can see what you have to do that if you're the GM. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Start Server, and what I want is, I'm going to put in a name here, tutorial, a GM password, Game Master, player password if you want them to connect as a player. Fairly straightforward. Strict token ownership you want to turn on. This means that players can only move and change theirs and not other people's tokens, and we'll go over token ownership later. Players can reveal vision means that players can remove the fog of war around their characters. Currently, Maptool lacks the ability to automatically remove fog of war, so you want to have that checked so you're not counted as the game master. Use if means that the players can only see what their token sees on the map, not what other tokens can see. So if for some reason you want to have players be able to share information, then you would unclick that. But since we're going to be doing Dungeons & Dragons, where they don't have headsets, we'll leave that. Restricted player means that they can only, as you see it's there, it says gives players the ability to impersonate any character. We don't want that, so we're going to have that turned on and have left turn off. So we're going to click and our server should be, well, that's going, there we go, the server started, don't worry about that error. And so now what we're going to do is go and load our campaign. So we're going to go to File, Open Campaign, and you're going to want to open this Veg 2.0 framework.campaign. This you can download from the forum, just like you would any other file on a Windows computer. And what you're going to see here normally would be, we'll ignore these three guys over here, we'll just move them down there for now. Normally you would open up, you would see this little ferret with bunny ears, this monster, and this hero. These are included with the campaign to make your life easier for quickly generating characters. Now I've actually gone ahead and made some additional characters to show off some other abilities and whatnot, so we'll drag those now back into the field. So in your character sheet, the first thing you'd normally want to do is, so if you just had player character here, is you'd want to make your own character. So what you'd do is just Control-C to copy, just like you would in Word, Control-V, and it'll paste wherever you put the mouse cursor down. And I'd be like, oh cool, now I have my own character. And so that at that point I would then double click and name him something. We'll call him Awesome Sauce because he's going to be awesome. And then that's all you're going to do in that guide. Okay, so now we can tell the difference between player character here and Awesome Sauce here. Now for the 4E framework, the next thing that you typically want to do is go into your character sheet. So if you don't have anything clicked, you would click selection here, and then you can scroll down here to the character sheet. Now you see over here I have this impersonated box. Basically, if you do impersonate selected, that's going to be the default guy you're talking as, and even if you unclick a selection, it'll stay up there. So that's handy to have as a player to just leave that up. And so what you do, at any rate, is go to your character sheet, at your abilities. So character level is obvious. Speed in squares, that's going to be your modified speed. So if he was wearing chainmail or plate mail, it would be -1, for example. So we would maybe set it to 5. So let's say he's wearing one of those two. Strength, Constitution, Dexterity, these are straight off of your sheet. So you can just copy paste those. Hit points at first level, that's going to be just right out of the player's handbook. This is right out of the player's handbook. Base healing surges, right out of the player's handbook. Get any special bonus hit points in here. Initiative bonus, most players will have this as 0. If you have a feat, or if you're a warlord, for example, you get a bonus to that. So let's say he's a warlord, just to show it off here. You get an initiative bonus of 2. Saving throws, again, if you have any feats that modify saving throws, you would change them around. Defenses, armor bonus, this is going to be the amount of armor. So let's say he's wearing chainmail, so that gives you an armor bonus of 6. Say he's not wearing a shield, so he gets no shield. Um, for the armor class bonus, fort, reflex, and will, I would typically just leave these values as for some reason your character class has something different. Obviously modify it as such. Let's say for this guy got +1 class bonus to reflex and to will. Nope, 1, not 10. And so that would go in there. What you're going to put in here is any skill that's trained, you're going to include the training bonus and any class or racial bonuses. For example, Dragonborn gets a +2 to Intimidate and History, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that's right. And then let's say we had trained Intimidate on top of that, so I would set this to 7. Bonus that I would get from my Charisma. The ability sheet over here, the Charisma value will automatically take care of that. Different variables you can have call out into your powers, which we'll talk about next. I generally don't deal with your macros. You can certainly do that. Okay, so now if we mouse over this guy, we see his portrait here, and we look in the text section. You see that he has an armor class of 21 now, where our original guy had an armor class of 18, and his reflex and will are higher as well because we modified those. So that's good. So now the next thing that you want to do is set up some powers. So basically it's pretty straightforward to set up some of your abilities. If you scroll down, you see these 3 buttons: create power macro, delete a power macro, load a power macro. I like to use load a power macro because I think it's easiest to use. So let's say a modified version of a basic attack in this case. We'll keep it nice and simple. So we'll call this Super Smack. I don't know. Let's make something up here. So keywords, we'll say it's weapon, and it's going to be a martial attack. And so then the only things on this particular tab that matter are the action type and the usage type. And really, even the action type doesn't matter. Here is the usage type that'll tell you at will, encounter, daily. And so if you set something to encounter or daily, it'll actually, the button will change color as you go about using it in your game. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So we'll say this is an at-will power, weapon martial, range is weapon. First text in the manual, so yeah, we'll add a requirement just so you can see that, and we'll add a trigger just so you can see that. And then primary. So primary is where we're going to define the attack and tell the computer how to roll, basically, and who to roll against. So use primary target will be most attacks, and that'll just allow you to select a target. If we're going to use a weapon here, so we're going to use our primary, we're going to use our equipped main hand weapon. We're going to roll armor, and then will be 20. If you had some proficiencies, I could set it to 19. We're then going to do damage, so damage is going to be strength. Damage dice is weapon. If this were instead spell, it would be damage plus equip mods, so that would just be the dice defined by the spell implement we're giving you. In this case, it's going to be 1 weapon plus 1d6, and that 1d6 magnifies to 6. I've set the damage to arcane, and then for the tertiary tabs, it's the same things. Is the ending rows. Use effect, use sustain, use special, use custom. Use custom. These are the top 4 are all just flavor text. The only row that matters here is the last one, which